The Lakers have reportedly had internal conversations about trading Russell Westbrook, because it's clear that Westbrook has not been the guy the Lakers thought they were getting this offseason. He hasn't been a good fit with LeBron and Anthony Davis, and the Lakers are just 3 games above 500, even though they have championship aspirations. So I think most of you would agree that Westbrook hasn't been the guy the Lakers need to put them over the top. But why is that? Why would an MVP, a 9-time All-Star, a guy who was named as one of the 75 greatest players in the history of the sport, not be the right guy for LeBron and the Lakers? Well, Westbrook's problem is that he is a negative when he doesn't have the basketball in his hands. Why do I say that? Well, he can't shoot, so defenses can help off of him onto his teammates. He ruins the Lakers' spacing. That's what we've seen this season. Well, okay, just put the ball in his hands. Then the spacing isn't as much of a problem. But Westbrook isn't actually a very efficient scorer. In fact, his true shooting percentage has been way below the league average throughout his career. And specifically with the Lakers, I want LeBron to facilitate the action, not Westbrook. I want AD to have the ball more than Westbrook as well. Those two are just better players. So Westbrook ends up having to play off the ball a lot. And we've already established that's not his strength. He's actually probably a negative in those situations. So to me, Russell Westbrook is really the opposite of Draymond Green. If you put Draymond on the Magic, do you think they would really be that much better? I don't. Draymond isn't a guy who's going to put up 24 or 25 a game. But when you put Draymond on an already great team like the Warriors, he makes them special. He complements other stars. Draymond is a ceiling raiser, not a floor raiser. He's not going to make a 12 seed into a 6 seed, but he is going to make a championship caliber team that much better. But Russell Westbrook is the polar opposite. He can turn crummy teams into playoff teams. He's done it before. But as we've seen this year with the Lakers, he doesn't elevate the level of an already great team. He raises your floor, not your ceiling. But the goal of the NBA season is obviously to win the championship. Great players are defined by their ability to win and win deep into May and June. So I don't think you can consider a guy who doesn't really even make good teams better a top 75 player ever, an all-time great. When I think that we've seen Westbrook is an all-time show, not an all-time great. He's an icon, not an elite player. He has the triple doubles, but he doesn't have the deep playoff success. When we can actually say that the Lakers should have traded it for Buddy Hield instead of Russ, then how can we consider Westbrook an all-time great when we would rather have Buddy Hield? And yeah, that's about the fit, but the NBA is all about playing with other stars. It's the name of the game. Because really, the team with the least amount of star power to win the title recently was Milwaukee. And they had arguably the best player in the sport, Giannis, and 2 other all-star caliber players in Middleton and Holiday. And that's like the minimum amount of star power you need to win the championship. Because we actually consider Milwaukee lucky with some of the injury stuff that happened last year. So that was the minimum amount of star power you need to win a championship. It's a star-driven league. And the book on Westbrook is that he doesn't mesh with other stars. He needs the ball in his hands. And now LeBron and company are reportedly looking to trade him. Durant left him a few years ago, and it didn't work with Harden in Houston. You've got to play with a superstar like one of those 3 if you want to win a title. And Westbrook hasn't shown the ability to play cohesively with those guys. So as it relates to this Laker team. I don't know what they can do, quite honestly. I think they're up a creek without a paddle. They took their swing in the offseason on Westbrook, and so far, it hasn't worked out. So now they have no trade assets of real value outside of LeBron and AD, and I don't think you can really get much back for Westbrook at this point. So I think the Lakers are really just a first or a second round playoff exit waiting to happen. The only thing that could really change that is a truly special, and I mean truly special, performance from LeBron in the playoffs. And I think they need Anthony Davis to be a top 5 player in the sport, because I don't think they can bank on Westbrook. So it's time to take a hard look at Russell Westbrook's legacy. He's known as one of the 75 greatest players to ever walk the earth, a legend, and one of the best players of his era. But when you take a closer look, he doesn't take good teams over the top. And he doesn't mesh with the game's best players. So I don't know how I can think of him as an elite player, because the truth is, he isn't good enough to be a number 1 on a championship team. And then he doesn't work well as a 2 or a 3. Durant left him. Then it didn't work with Harden, with the Rockets. And now reportedly LeBron and the Lakers may be ready to move on.